Yeah, right, so there's no vlogging today. I've had a bit of a disaster, to be honest. I got back from Essex last night. I ended up staying awake till about 1, 2 in the morning. Had a few drinks as well, and as a result, ended up sleeping through my alarm this morning. I won't deny I was really pissed off when I woke up, and it was must have been about 11 o'clock. You know, you got the heat, you're overdriving. I've done it. I was probably just knackered, and the intention had been to go down to Northampton to photograph their Armed Forces Day parade down there. And by the time I would have got down there, it would have been about half midday, maybe 1 o'clock, and it just wouldn't be worth it for the sake of an hour photographing a couple of stalls, because that's something I've noticed, that a lot of the Armed Forces Day stuff has been all about stalls, and that's like marquees, you know, like a couple of items and stuff. It's not really an Armed Forces Day, that is it? I mean, the one I did in Coventry last year, that was a bit more like it because you had a decent parade through the town. But I mean, just setting up a couple of marquees isn't really worth it. I don't think it's anything special. Ironically, I did notice when I was looking through, searching on YouTube for anything to do with today's parades, I came across one in Woolwich. Woolwich in London, I believe, is where Lee Rigby was attacked about 12 years ago. And that kind of leads me on to, you know, the... do I call it a farce? I think a farce is probably the correct term for it, really. I mean, how much longer can we keep this farcical narrative going about the armed forces defending our country? Because I just watched a video by Charles Veach, you know, the king of YouTube in UK, really, I think anyway. He was filming the Palestine demo. Obviously, one of them takes place pretty much every weekend in Manchester, along with all the trans rights parades and gay pride and all the rest of it. But he went from that to St. Peter's Square, where the Armed Forces Day stuff was taking place, and there's like 4 or 5 marquees set up, you know, with a couple of items like a Bergen, obviously decommissioned weapon systems and fake ammunition, drill ammunition, etc. And you look at the comparison between the two and where our priorities are lying now. You know, I mean, quite clearly the priorities aren't around the armed forces as such anymore. We're a country at war with ourselves. When we're too busy flying Palestinian flags and Ukrainian flags, and the armed forces are taking a back seat now, there's something going seriously wrong. Fair enough, you know, like the armed forces, the operations we've conducted over the last 20, 30 years, and even longer, you can't really justify there about defending the country. We all know now, Iraq, the weapons of mass destruction never existed. The politicians that sent us there also made laughing jokes about it. No end of people got injured, no end of people obviously died during them operations. Afghanistan, you know, wasted time. I mean, we withdrew from there in 2021. I've heard plenty of theories that there was lithium over there, obviously lithium for Tesla batteries and iPhones that were coming in, but I don't know how true that is because there's no way of proving it. There was a lot of opium there, and obviously the US military during Vietnam were bringing back drugs during that operation. I'll tell you what, I'm going to be well on the algorithm, some of the things I've said so far, but it's provable, you know, that sort of stuff. But I think getting to the point is, more than anything, is the state of the UK. And it's not in a good place. It ain't getting better either. It's getting worse. I think Charles Veach said during his video that 700 people have landed in Dover today. So while we're there having our Armed Forces Day all across the country in all towns and cities, and I don't begrudge that at all, great, I encourage it. But at the same time, can you not see this just doesn't make sense? It's proper Orwellian doublethink. You got this armed forces that are there to meant to protect you and defend the country, and then the borders are wide open as the orcs. You know, the orcs from Mordor start landing into the Shire. That's something I'm going to start using more. The Lord of the Rings terminology. But yeah, the orcs are coming in greater numbers. God, can you imagine Monday when it's 31 degrees? Tuesday, we've got days of sunshine now, and obviously that is just a green card for more and more people to come over. More and more young fighting age men, Deliveroo drivers, loitering around towns and cities. You know, I was in Colchester the other day, and anyone who remembers Colchester 20 years ago, that was an amazing, amazing town. it's been wrecked. It's in such a state of decline. I think. I mean, it's quite ironic. The Liberals always talk about vibrancy. You know, we're vibrant now because we've got all this diversity and multiculturalism. It was much more vibrant 20 years ago, I can assure you, as most towns and cities were. The atmosphere now is just, it's just a shithole now. I mean, like, as much as I hate to say it, but like the Bull nightclub is, the Bull pub's shutting down, the Fox and Fiddler's due to shut down soon, Yates nightclub will be shutting down soon, Trilogy, I mean, these are all places that it's like, well, it's been an average day now. That's the thing with this party world we've had for 60 odd years. You know, the swinging 60s, this is where the party world came in. It's a very recent thing, but it is dying off now. But that's a different topic. But you know, you look at nearly every town and city and it's not becoming more vibrant, it's becoming more dead. You know, it's deserted towns and cities, and I mean that comes more down to Amazon shopping and all that as well. But to get back on topic, you know, I mean, how can we possibly say have an Armed Forces Day when you've got all this going on all around you? You know, borders wide open, whether it's down in Kent, even Southend apparently has these people landed on the shores, completely undocumented and just disappearing into God knows where, and then probably becoming Deliveroo drivers and Uber Eats and all that, loitering around towns and cities all day, being a bit of a menace. Yeah, so I think I've said my little piece on it. I won't deliberate on it just for the sake of it, but you know, there's just so much irony surrounding these days, you know, Armed Forces Days, and I just wonder how much longer we can really keep it going. I mean, a good example is, you think we've just had VE Day anniversary, 80th VE Day. I mean, can you imagine what, as I've said before, in 20 years' time, you won't even be having VE Day 100th century anniversary because the demographics will have changed too much. Something else worthy of mentioning as well. While I've been out today, obviously lovely weather, sunshine. You know, I took a trip out to a pub or two and been working on my photo album for Romford, which I finished off now. But the latter place I went to, which is near like a marina, basically, there's a restaurant or two there. I was sat there, you know, there was like an Indian Pakistani couple to the left of me. There was a Pakistani pair of ladies to the right hand side of me. The table in front of me was an entire family of Indian girls and ladies. But the one that concerned me was there was a group of sort of Pakistani looking men who, they're all in Western clothing admittedly, but they've got that look, you know, like I don't know, like the kind of people you'd find perhaps in the Taliban, you know, like I don't know, shaved heads, beards, all the rest of it, you know, and they might look westernised in terms of the clothing, but just, who are these people, you know? But anyway, I've got quite a significant recognisable army tattoo or two, and from when I was a soldier, and I was turning my body, you know, I was literally turning my body away in case they saw it, because I was wearing a vest at the time. I thought I just can't have these people seeing it, just in case, you know, because you don't know where these people are from, who their contacts are, and this is the state of the country now. You know, we've got people that we're living alongside. They might well be having a similar culture to us. I mean, they're sat there on an evening enjoying the outdoors at a restaurant. It's a weird scene though. It really is. It was a weird, you know, like all around me, it's all just people from South Central Asia. And if you were a tourist, even if you come from Germany or I don't know, Thailand or something like that, you come to see England, and I think you'd be confused. I mean, if you weren't aware of like the multicultural situation that we're in now. But yeah, again, it just gets back to the thing with not being safe in your own country anymore. And if that's the case, then how can you possibly believe that it's all about defending your country when you're not safe within it? You know, so just something extra I thought I'd add in there.